Agape Church. My name is Kimberly White, and I serve on the worship team. We are so glad you could join us today. There are a few things we want you to know. If you're visiting with us, we would love to connect with you and your family. The best way we can do that is through what we call our digital connection card online on the Agape Church app or on our website at theagape.church. Or you could text the word The Agape Church to 1-888-364-GIVE. You'll learn about what's happening, what's going on in the church, and most importantly, learn how to submit any prayer requests you may have. We are honored to be your church family, and we look forward to connecting with you.
Good morning, Agape Church. How you guys doing this morning? So happy to see you guys. If this is your first time with us, we want to thank you for joining us. If you're watching online, drop us a comment, let us know that you're watching. And if you're in the building Agape, let's stand up and we'll get started this morning.
To the sky, but there's no space between you and I. Wherever I go, I'm never alone. I'm waking up and I come alive. The past is gone, the future can wait. Oh my soul, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. And I breathe you in, I shout out your praise. Oh my soul, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. You know your face brighter than the sun. You know your grace rewrites every hole. Wherever I go, I'm never alone. I'm waking up and I come alive. The past is gone, the future can wait. Oh my soul, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. And I breathe you in, I shout out your praise. Oh my soul, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. My past is in the grave, my sins are washed away. This is Christ in me, this is Christ in me. I'm living unashamed, now my heart's forever changed. This is Christ in me, this is Christ in me. My past is in the grave, now my sins are washed away. This is Christ in me, this is Christ in me. I'm living unashamed, now my heart's forever changed. This is Christ in me, this is Christ in me. The past is gone, the future can wait. Oh my soul, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. And I breathe you in, I shout out your praise. Oh my soul, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. And my past is gone, the future can wait. Oh my soul, what a beautiful day. Oh, and how high would I climb mountains if the mountains were where you died? Oh, and how far I'd scale the valleys if you grace the other side. Oh, and how long have I chased rivers from lonely seas to where they rise against the rush of grace descending from the source of His supply. 'Cause in the islands, in the heartache, you're neither more nor less inclined. And I will search and stop at nothing, 'cause you're just not that hard to find. Oh, I will praise you on the mountain. I will praise you in the mountains in my way. You're the summit where my feet are. So I praise you in the valleys all the same. No less going in the shadows, no less faithful when the night leads me astray. You're the heavens where my heart is, in the highlands, in the heartache, all the same. How far will you come running just to shelter me from where you feel the sunrise to where you sweep the sinners past? And oh, how fast will you come running if to shadow me through the night? Trace my steps through all my failures and work me out the other side. For who would dare ascend that mountain, that valley hill called Calvary, but for the one I call Good Shepherd, who like a lamb was slain for me? Oh, I will praise you on the mountain. I will praise you in the mountains in my way. You're the summit where my feet are. So I praise you in the valley all the same. No less going in the shadows, no less faithful when the night leads me astray. You're the heavens where my heart is, in the highlands, in the heartache, all the same. Wherever I walk through, wherever I am, you'll make me move mountains. Wherever I stand, and if ever I walk through the valley of death, I'll see through the shadows my song of ascent. Wherever I walk through, wherever I am, you're making new mountains. Wherever I stand, and if ever I walk through the valley of death, I've seen through the shadows my song of ascent, my song of ascent. Comes the pastures we call grace. a mighty river flowing upwards from a deep but empty grave. So I'll praise you on the mountain, I will praise you when the mountain's in my way. You're the summit where my feet are. I will praise you in the valley all the same. No less God within the shadows, no less faithful will the night leads me astray. You're the heaven where my heart is, in the highlands, in the heart and God sing. And why would I worry when giants come calling my name? Oh, 'cause my God is so much bigger than troubles I face. And why would I hunger for power or riches or fame? Oh, 'cause my God is so much better than all of those things. So I won't be shaken, and I won't be moved, 'cause my God is faithful, and His promise is true. To the mountains, oh, it's time to move, 'cause my God is bigger, better, stronger, and greater than you. Oh, and my enemies scatter, 'cause they know the battle is done. 'Cause my God is stronger, the victory is already won. Well, He died for my ransom and rose up on the third day. Yeah, 'cause my God is greater than death, hell and the grave. So I won't be shaken, and I won't be moved. My God is faithful, and His promise is true. So I speak to the mountains, oh, it's time to move. God is bigger, better, and stronger, and greater than you. There's no mountain too high, there's no valley too low, there's no fear that I have He doesn't already know. There's no problem too big, there's no weapon too strong, there's nothing for my God that's impossible. There's no mountain too high, there's no valley too low, there's no fear that I have He doesn't already know. There's no problem too big, there's no weapon too strong, there's nothing for my God that's impossible. And I shaken, and I won't be moved, 'cause my God is faithful, and His promise is true. So I speak to the mountain, you know it's time to move, 'cause my God is bigger, better, and stronger, greater. He's bigger, better, stronger. Everyone's right here. And my God is bigger, better, stronger, greater. He's bigger, better, stronger, greater. He's bigger, better, stronger, greater than you. So I won't be shaken, and I won't be moved, 'cause my God is faithful, and His promise is true. So I speak to the mountain and say it's time to move, 'cause my God is bigger, better, and stronger, greater. He's bigger, better, stronger, greater. He's bigger, better, stronger, greater. He's bigger. Every voice right there. Stronger. And my God is bigger, better, stronger, greater. He's 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 bigger, better, stronger, greater than you.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, God. Anybody believe that this morning? That my God is bigger, better, stronger, greater. Anybody believe that this morning? We're grateful, grateful, grateful. Well, goodness, welcome to Agape Church. So glad that you all are here with us today, and grateful that you're here on such a special day as it's Baptism Sunday. I mean, it's yeah, come on, that's a great thing. It's a great thing. It's a great thing just because I'm really trying to remember in the history of our church where we really have had just a gamut of people that are being baptized today in age, you know, from our youngest to some of our older. So I'm just grateful for that today, just when people go public with their faith. And so we're excited about that as well. And then it's Vision Sunday, so got some great stuff to share with you there as well. Again, I always want to say thank you so much to everybody that is serving so that we can have the services that we have today. Thank you for our worship team that's visible, the ones that are invisible that are back in the back. Thank you for our children's workers, those that made coffee this morning, set up the team area, those that just cleaned and wiped stuff down, those greeting at the door. Thank you for every single person that does anything to make this happen. We're grateful for you today. We are friendly people, and we got a lot to do today. So listen, would you all turn around to somebody, you may know them, you may not. Would you tell good morning? Would you tell them welcome to Agape Church? Tell them get ready for a good day. Trista Watson here, she said she's gonna try and come on. Well, good morning, everybody. Y'all doing well this morning? So good to see. I forgot one of my little props for today's message that I need. Gotta bring my ball up here. Goodness. Well, good to see y'all. Y'all doing good? Gracious. Thank y'all for joining us today. Those that are watching us online as well, thank you so much for being here today. Just a really, really exciting as we talk about vision and just again, Baptism Sunday. Oh my goodness, just so excited about it all. So let me shift over. I kind of oriented my notes a little differently on my iPad today, so I got to shift over a little bit than what I'm normally used to doing. So I guess got to get back to that part right there. So listen, before I jump into today's message, again, like we mentioned, today's Baptism Sunday, it is after the service today. So I want to encourage you right after this, don't get in your cars and take off. Please stay around and support those that are going public with their faith today. We'll be right outside. We're at where the back lot is. We're right there. The baptisms are set up there, and it may be our new spot for a while because they're doing some construction out front. I don't know if y'all saw any of that. And so they kind of took our baptismal spot and replaced it with brick and some planters. And so I'm happy about it. I'll take it. A new front entry, and it didn't cost us a dime. The Lord is good. The Lord is good. And so we're grateful for it. So encourage you to stay around for that. It's important for those that are being baptized for them to hear and see your encouragement. So I encourage you to do that, especially with one of our young ones that's being baptized today. They really need to see that it's important to us that we're proud of them and going public with their faith. So I'm encouraging you to be there. We all need it, but I'm really encouraging you, whenever one of our Agape kids does it, we really want to make sure that we support them. So I'm encouraging you to make sure you're there right after service. Hey, Awakening is tonight. It is a county-wide service. It's at the Magnolia Center. I believe it starts at 6 o'clock tonight. So I want to encourage you to be a part of that. This is the final night, and it's kind of the bigger night. It's all the churches in our area are coming together for a county-wide celebration of hope. And how many know we need hope in Jesus? So, and then Together Weekend is coming. I want you all, as registrations, they've already gotten that, but I want you all praying for our young people, for all the young people that are going to this event. It is really, really important. We're believing God to, again, ignite something in them that's not just an experience, but an encounter. That's not just for the weekend, but it is a life-changing experience. And how many know God can do it? Anybody believe that? So I'm encouraging you, pray for them this week, and pray for Hagen and Josh and their team as they coordinate this. They've done a great job. The enemy would love to come in and try and frustrate them, but I hope that they hear, I consider you all already a huge success just by getting to this point. So proud of both of you, so proud of the team that you built, and grateful for what you're doing. And so I know the weekend will come out great, but before one thing ever happens, I just want you to know we're really proud of you. Church, can you all let them know how proud of them we are of them, is their hard work. We are at Vision Sunday. We start with the vision that Agape Church exists to help. And there's that really important word. What's that next word? People. Yeah, we exist to help people. We don't exist to have nice buildings or chairs. Jesus didn't die for one building, not one chair, not one. Jesus died for people. Yeah. And so we never forget we are in the people business. That God has called us. When he charged the disciples that feed my sheep and feed my lamb, he told us this is what's most important to me. He didn't say, hey, memorize scripture, but he wants us to do that. He didn't say, wear Christian t-shirts, but he doesn't want us to do that. But what's most important to God, make no mistake about, is that you take care of his people. That he sent Jesus for his people. We exist to help people know God, to help people find freedom, to help people discover their purpose, to help people make a difference. Why do we even bring that up? Because the vision, everything goes forward from the vision. It determines what's a yes and what's a no, what's a maybe, we need to go deeper, explore that. But it all comes from vision. And when you have a clear vision statement, it's not just something that the pastor or staff should know, it's something that you should know. So when people say, well, what's your church about? Well, we exist to help people know God, find freedom in him, discover their purpose in him, and make a difference in this world. Come on, anybody hearing me this morning? This is what we exist for. Why the doors stay open, why we keep going forward. And so the vision, everything goes forward from the vision. Then today I want to talk with you about that vision, because here's what vision does. Vision comes in, it is intact. and it's solid and it looks really good. But the great thing about vision is it has this amazing ability that while it's still intact, that vision, when God breathes on it, it expands. And so it still stays, and if a vision is solid, we're still connected. Even though it got bigger than where it started, we're still connected. And part of the growth process, real growth, is not just constant expanding. Actually, real growth has to have some contraction to it. And then it expands again, and it's stronger. And so I'm encouraging you. And what it is that when we look at the vision, we can expand and still stay connected. In fact, a good vision will do that. A good vision has it to where we stay connected. And so no matter what size it is, that's why the size is not the issue. The size of where God is doesn't matter. The key is the test of time, but he's going to test us for, did you all stay connected? He says, because there I command a blessing. Anybody hearing me this morning? All right, so let me walk you through, and then I'm going to be just real. Numbers chapter 13, really familiar scripture. Moses then, the Bible says, the Lord now said, Moses, send out men to explore the land of Canaan, the land I am giving you. Who's giving that to them? Yeah, did he say go out and take it? Did he say, now you guys go and see if you can? What did the Lord say? I am giving. Is it okay? Hold on, help me out. Is all right? I am doing what? I'm giving it to you. So you can't earn it. It's not because you deserve it. I am giving it to you. I want you to understand that when God gives you something, you don't have to apologize. You don't have to make excuses. You don't have to play shy church, Christian brother, Christian sister. God just gave it. Not my issue, but God just gave it. Here's what he said, but I want you to go and see, explore the land. Someone say, explore the land. Yeah, because even God gives it to you, you still got to go see it for yourself. Okay, so he says, so explore the land that I'm giving you. Send one leader from each of the 12 ancestral tribes to go there. He goes on in verse 23. He says, when they came to the valley of Eshcol, they cut down a branch with a single cluster of grapes so large that it took 2 of the men to carry it on a pole between them. Someone say blessed. Yeah. That's not just blessed, like grapes that you got to put on a pole and carry between 2 men. How many know that the people that went on this, they weren't in good shape? Okay, 2 men to carry this, they look, grapes. Okay, someone say overabundant blessing. This is how the Lord does it. He wants you to know what I have for you is good, beyond what you even think. And so they also brought back samples of pomegranates and figs, and that's important too, because pomegranates were at the bottom of the priestly robe as well. So it's not just the grapes. It's not just, hey, I'm going to bless you with provision. He says, I'm going to also bless you with me. I'm going to bless you with priesthood. I'm going to bless you with my presence. I'm going to bless you with people that I matter to them more than the blessing. You might hear me. This makes sense yet. And so he goes on now 27. It gets interesting because they go in and they look and they come back. 27 says, and this was their report to Moses. We entered the land you sent us to explore, and indeed it was bountiful country, a land flowing with milk and honey. Oh, it was good. We saw it was just good. But how do you know, like in human nature, who can already feel the butt? In human nature, like, anybody here? So here, okay. Here is the kind of fruit it produces, but the people. Someone say people. Yeah, but the people. And that's always going to be the thing that Satan will try and use you when it comes to vision. The very thing that you're called to serve and impact, he'll try and use you and use difficult situations to turn you against the very thing that you're supposed to serve. The very thing that you're supposed to serve sometimes looks like the obstacle that you can't overcome. Notice they didn't say the land was wonderful, but what did they talk about? The people. The people living there are powerful, and their towns are large and fortified. We even saw giants, big people, and the descendants of Enoch. Here's where they saw giants, big obstacles. Someone say big obstacles. See, there's a big false thing that we think, like, just because God has something for us, like there's not big challenges involved. You're going to have to overcome some things to get what God has for you. The key is don't quit. My Bible still says, I checked it this morning, do not get weary in doing what is good, for in due season you will reap a harvest if you do not quit. If you do not quit. If God doesn't quit on you. Is that what scripture says? No, it says if you don't quit. So he's committed. He's seen the end before he ever pronounces the beginning. If you do not quit. There's giants there to say. Now verse 30 then, Caleb, now here's Caleb. Gotta love Caleb. Caleb comes in and says, then Caleb silenced the people before Moses. Okay, now I want you, this Hebrew here, for he said, shut up. Okay. He didn't use real proper language. So I don't really like that. Yeah, well, he just said, shut up. Anybody ever have the people that like, they always got to throw water on your fire? They just can't help but they got to always have something that as soon as I got a new car, watch them payments because them payments is large. Well, I paid cash for it. You used all that cash. What you gonna do when we headed to recessions? They gonna put an S at the end. We headed to recessions. Okay, here's the whole thing. And always, you can't have nothing good. Oh man, I'll tell you, we had a good month in sales. You better count it good because things ain't looking good. It's sunny day. It's gonna rain on Tuesday. Can we just have the sun today? Can we just enjoy? I'm going to church. Have you seen that Hillsong documentary? They all thieves up there. I mean, look at y'all. Y'all church kind of look like that one too. Eh? Don't y'all got them screens and lights? So anyway, always the one that's got something, man. Oh yeah, you can't. They gonna be on your Facebook too. Happy anniversary. Is it though? And sometimes you got to get just the Spirit of God that just tells not that person, but the Spirit behind it. Shut up! Caleb basically tells them, be quiet. And listen, Caleb said, we should go and take possession of it. Don't you love people like that? Hey, he got a word from the Lord. It sunk in with him. He is probably looking around going, what are y'all talking about? What do you mean? We should go take it today. Now, I relate. Now, the timing is the issue. Caleb is not even asking the Lord, is this the right time? He's ready to go. I'm guilty. I'm like, as soon as the Lord, I'm like, today, can we go? And then that's why he sends the prophet in your house, commonly known as your wife. That's not the brake. She's not a brake pedal. He's not a brake pedal. She's a caution sign. She says, hey, weigh it out. And here's the thing, and you can get to where you're going to resent the very help that God sent you, or you realize that we're partners and really, is she really against us? Is she really against me? Been here almost 21 years. Now she decided she don't want to be for me. No, the Lord and blessed her with all this. Now she going to turn her back on the goodness of God? He done blessed her beyond measure, gave a large crop of grapes. Yeah, this a little larger than it was when I was 28. But anyway, that's it. So we should go. After this, he says, for we can certainly do it. Someone say, we can do it. We can do it. Yeah, there's a part where he doesn't say, I can. I love that Caleb is bold, but he doesn't say, I can. He said, we can do this. God gave us we can do this. You need to get around some we can do this people. I don't care what your family looks like or what you've gone. You got to get around some we can do this people. I don't care if everybody in your family got divorced. We can do this. We're going to be the ones that break the curse. I don't don't care if cancer runs all the way through your family. It's going to have to stop. We can do this. It's got to stop right here. You got to look. I don't care if poverty is. Nobody in our house ever went to college, ever owned a house. Oh, well, we can do this. We're going to figure it out. I don't care what. I do not care. If there's a thing, if I'm going to put all my faith in a generational curse, I'm going to sure put more faith in the generational blessing. We can do this. We can do this. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're going to do this. Caleb says we can do this. Goes on in 31, and they got to come back, right? Because them ones that like throwing water on your fire, they don't just quit on one little squirt. They start with the water gun, then they go get the hose. But the other men who had explored the land, now they done seen what you've seen. Hear me, church. There are people that will see what you see, but they don't see what you see. Okay, that makes sense? And just because they see what they see and you see what God's giving you, if you're waiting for the pat on the back, be like, good job, you saw it right. Forget it. Not gonna happen. Some things you see here, and it's between you and the Lord. It's the most intimate thing. There are things that are just between me and my wife that no one ever will know. That's between us because there's an intimacy. There are things between you and God that he has that's reserved for an intimate place, and you ain't got to share with nobody. And they don't have to believe it. And it doesn't become true because they believe it. It's true because he said it. And if they choose to believe it or not, that's on them. They can get in line behind everybody else that want to doubt, or they can get on board with everybody that's going to believe. But I'm not waiting. We're not going. You might hear me. So the other men explored the land with him, and they disagreed. Imagine that. And we can't go up against them. They're stronger than we are. So they spread the bat. So they can't just have their opinion. It's got to spread. Isn't that how they do it? Oh, it's a free country. You can have your opinion, but you got to spread it like you country crock. Got to spread it. No, it's not enough for me. If I got a bad attitude, it's not enough for me to have one. I got to spread it. Don't you hate when they do that? Don't you hate when they always talk? Doesn't that get on your nerves like it gets on my nerves? Oh, anybody with me? Like they gotta spread it. We got to spread the bad report about the land. They gotta spread the bad report about what's going on in your life. They gotta spread like what they disagree. I don't know if they should really be buying all of that. I don't know if they should have done that. I don't know if she should have got her hair done like that. They got opinions about everything. That's why you gotta tell it to be quiet. Because that thing will never, ever get satisfied. Anybody hearing me yet? That it's going to be that same way. It's still going to keep not getting satisfied. Here, spread the bad word about the land among you. And the land we traveled through and explored will devour anyone who goes to live there. Now, all the people we saw were huge. Even saw giants there. The descendants next to them, we felt like grasshoppers. And that's what they thought too. How do they know what they thought? We felt like grasshoppers, and that's what they thought too. Now they're too scared to even talk to them. How in the world did they know what they thought? And church, this is the same stuff we do. This is why you have to have a Christ identity first. We don't want you to have self-esteem. We want you to have Christ esteem. Self-esteem will betray you. Christ esteem says, I am the righteousness of God in Christ. I'm a new creation. Now, I don't always act like one, but I'm new. And I'm more new today than I was yesterday. I'm going to keep getting more new. I'm not deteriorating. I'm accelerating. I'm still connected. This is who I am, but God slowly. As long as I stay connected with him, I got potential. Anybody, is this making sense? Yeah, they don't. And so they looked in, and so we there too. And then the Lord replied, verse 20, 14, we jumped ahead and they rebelled and all this. And so in verse 20, God had enough, and Caleb and Moses and Joshua, they all asked the Lord to forgive them for doubting because they turned the whole people against him. And verse 20, the Lord finally speaks and he says, the Lord replied, I have forgiven them as you asked. Now here's a big part. Just because we find those, because some of y'all right now making a list, and you're like, I'm gonna cut them off. You done already unfriended them during the service. You'd have unfriended them. You're like, yeah, I knew it. Pastor just confirmed. I knew I should have got rid of they trifling behind. I'm going to put them out. Trifling is a southern word that means just dirty, just mean. Trifling does not really have a definition, but like trifling is like when you go to put something in the trash and it lands on the floor and you leave it there. That's trifling. Okay. And some of y'all like, really? And then some of y'all like, I know, you're right. Some of y'all know that word. Some of y'all got learned a new word today. Trifle is like rifle? How you spell that? Rifle with a T in the front. Trifle, and he put a ling, right? Ling. Okay, all right, so trifling. Here we go. So he said, I've forgiven them, and I'm encouraging you. This is what keeps your heart right. Even when they disagree with you, forgive them. Okay? You still got to be an advocate because ultimately you're called to help people. And not all of them are well. Right, come on, y'all still with me? All right, go ahead. Okay, because sick people act like sick people. And people with no vision act like people that have no vision. You can't blame them for that. They just ain't never had nothing, including vision. And so when God gives you the ability to have it, you can't blame the ones, when they act up, you just got to ask them to forgive them. That's going to help you, and it's definitely going to help them. And then the Lord said, nevertheless, this is the Lord here. Now look, I didn't write this. This is in the Bible. As surely as I live, and as surely as the glory of the Lord fills the whole earth, not one of them who saw my glory and the signs I performed in Egypt and in the wilderness, but who disobeyed me and tested me 10 times. Here's what he's saying now. The Lord's going, he's not just going because they didn't, I'm sick of them. He's saying, I have shown myself mighty and strong over and over and over and over and over and over again. Look at what they saw. Hey, church. I know it's easy to look at them, but can I just turn that mirror back on your life and say, hadn't he shown himself faithful and strong to you over and 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 over again? I could go around the room and I could point out the stories, and if I had the time, I'd share different ones about how we cried together in one room and how you're happy now. I can talk about how you were in the hospital and we prayed together and how he raised you up. I can talk about how it was some dark, dark days and yet look at you smiling now. It's not all resolved, but it's so better than it used to be. Over and over and over again. And then there's the stories that we don't talk about that we can't tell in our own life, but we can look back and we see how he's been faithful over and over again. He's saying, the ones that I've shown myself faithful to over and over again, he said, surely not one of them will ever see the land I promised and owed to their ancestors. He said, I had enough. They don't really want it here on earth, so I just bring them on home with me. But they ain't gonna see it here. Not when I've shown myself to them over and over again. He said, no one who has treated me with contempt. Look at how he calls that. He considers a lack of contempt will ever see it. But because my servant Caleb has a different spirit and follows me wholeheartedly. Church, I pray God that we're ones with a different spirit that follow him wholeheartedly. I hope we're different for all the right reasons. I hope they point to us. I hope they know what's happening here at the church for all the right reasons. That we're different, and not because we don't have to be better. It's not about being better. We don't need to be better. We just need to be Christ-like. I don't want to be better. I want to be Christ-like. Because being a better human is a pretty low standard. Let's be Christ-like. And so he says, I'll bring them into the land they went to, and his descendants will inherit it. Here's the word I got from the Lord really for us. And this is where I'm going to go. That I believe God has moved us into a season of preparation and empowerment of next generation leaders. 12 years in, if I can describe it in a word picture, 12 years in, I feel like I've been allowed to stand on a platform. But 12 years in, I feel like I get to become the platform. 12 years in, beginning to look for who's going to stand next. and put everything I have into him. Because if I don't make it until he comes back again, I don't want to go out serving nobody else's master. I want to leave a legacy. I want to have my life matter. I want to spend my days finding the ones that are hungry, that have that Caleb spirit that won't take no for an answer. I want to vet them. I want to find them. And if the Lord allows me to pour my life into them and let them go further than I ever went. And I don't think my time is over, and it's not so I'm heading out, because I'm not. Because remember, Caleb was like, let's go then, but there were years before they walked in. But I do know, and God, the season is on us. And I'm grateful for that. There's two types of next generation leaders. Some are getting scared, okay, so what does that mean? There's two types of next generation leaders. This is what the Lord showed me. The first one is the next generation by age. They were born for a time like this. They're next generation by their age. The second type is those that are next generation by calling or gifting. That is regardless of age. So you may be younger or older, but you're called by gifting, by God's calling. You're a next generation. So there's next generation by age, but there's also next generation by season. And so all of it works together for his glory. This is where we're at. And so here we are at Vision Sunday. This is what I want to show you and walk you through with this. So on April 11th, 2021, Pastor Nisi and I laid out an exciting plan for the future of Agape Church, which included several people who are going to be joining our staff and others that were already on staff transitioning to new roles to best serve the vision of what God had given Agape Church for the year 2021 and beyond. It was our first Vision Sunday since coming out of 2020 and the COVID year and everything that we dealt with that. So it was a pretty exciting time in our church. This vision included the renovation of the historic J.C. Penney building, which the church has owned for many years now. The question was going to be answered that what were we going to do with this property? It was going to be a beautiful 500-seat auditorium that would then allow City Center, our current location, to be renovated and retrofitted so that Agape kids did not have to be on the second floor. They could come down to the ground floor. We were looking at putting in a kitchen. We were going to use the two facilities in tandem. They were going to be across the street, but going to function really as one facility. And people caught the vision and were so excited, and so were we. And within 30 days, over $40,000 had come in toward the project because of people's generosity, and we were rolling. Around the end of May, beginning of June, the bids for the project came in, and the price was $2.1 million to do the J.C. Penney building build out. I still just didn't have a peace about it. I was excited that we were moving forward, but still just kind of didn't feel like how come I didn't feel like I was totally all in. And so we started looking in deeper at the numbers, and we saw that it was going to take us $980,000 just to get that facility weather tight. That was just a roof, front and a back door, rough in plumbing. They were going to have to tear out the floor and fill it in and re-pour it. The building was not going to be able to receive even an occupancy permit to be used as an open shell. The only way I can really describe it to you is I just had a holy unrest about the whole project. Not from a standpoint of the number, like God couldn't provide $2 million for us. The 12 years of Agape Church's history has been about God providing when there was no way, how he's always provided a way for us. And this was going to be no different. But I didn't have peace about the stewardship aspect. I didn't feel like it was the best use of $2.1 million for us and our future. I knew I was in trouble as far as from a leadership standpoint, from a visionary standpoint, is I started and I asked myself the question, if someone came in today, wrote the check for $2.1 million and said, hey, Pastor James, here, you have to use this for Agape to build something for themselves, to serve a ministry purpose. Could I, as the leader, as the pastor, recommend to our board and then bring to our church that we would move ahead with that project? Was that the best use of those resources? And I came to a very clear conclusion. It was no, I couldn't do it. And Agape, I want to be clear, like the reason that that's there is it goes beyond just being a good steward. We always want to be a good steward of our resources. Always want to keep your trust when it comes to our finances. But that's motivated beyond just wanting to be a good steward. That's motivated in the fact that I love you and that we love you and that this has been the adventure of our lifetime. That at 37 years old, when Niece and I were looking at, could we even do something like this? Did we have the energy? Like we thought we had one shot to come and do something amazing for God, and He opened up the door right here in Laurel, Mississippi. And so this has always been about our love for you as a church, our love for you as a faith community, our love of serving here, our love for this community. That love motivates every single action that we take. And we're grateful for this tremendous opportunity that God's given us here at Agape. And with that, I just could not move forward with that project. And it left me really at a crisis of leadership. I didn't know what to do. We have money in the bank. We have a great relationship with a banking partner, with a financing partner, and yet no property to buy and no property that fit our needs of what I really wanted for us. I was at a loss. I mean, the contractors were asking if we're moving forward. The board was no pressure, but just kind of asking, hey, what's the latest? Different ones of you would even ask, hey, Pastor James, what's the update on how are we looking there? And I literally had nothing to say. And really, it left me at a crisis of leadership where I'm really beginning to almost like here, they're going to think you aren't a good leader. They're going to think you can't make up your mind. They're going to think, wait, I thought we were going here. What are we doing? How are we doing this? And we can't even move forward. Like I just could hear all of it. And really kind of when it got to where it was overwhelming, that's exactly when the Lord showed up. So Gen 2 for Agape Church is, we are expanding. And so we are very, come on, God is good to us through that. And so with that, we'll dismiss. We'll just go ahead and pray up. No, I'm kidding. I know you got some other questions, so let me go ahead and answer those real quick. Go right ahead. Sorry, just wrong. Pray for me. So the purchase of the new South Tyre facility is a game changer for us as a church. And you're asking, so what's next and what are the details? Well, the new South Tyre facility is almost 6 acres. It is 28,000 square feet of building space with a ton of outdoor space for parking and other things that we're going to look at. We see that as a future of our Agape Kids Ministry, our Sunday morning services, and our student ministry. Well, then what happens with this facility? We are staying at City Center as well. We will have 2 locations within our same city that will help us serve our purpose and mission of serving this community even better. City Center will again stay our location. It will still stay usable. We'll still have an auditorium here that will also be able to stream from, but it'll be the home for our 21 days of prayer and fasting. It'll be our home for different conferences, marriage conferences, together conferences, as well as men's and women's nights as well. It is definitely going to almost serve as kind of our chapel or smaller assembly space facility. It will also be the home of our administrative offices. We are finally going to finish this facility. So the upstairs will be renovated and our administrative offices will be located right here at City Center. And so we'll be in this facility every single day of the week, still keeping a presence right here in downtown Laurel. So that means, well, Pastor James, what does that mean happens to our Midtown facility? Midtown was definitely in the plan of God for us, and we were grateful for the opportunity to purchase it in 2017. We have renovated it, and it has gotten to a point where it is a tremendous asset that has increased in value. And so the board feels it is best at this time that we would sell that facility and use those funds that have now increased because of the value for greater kingdom purposes here at City Center, as well as the new South Tire facility. The board is also looking at the J.C. Penney building. Now that we have secured and really know where our future is, we really feel like that is no longer an asset that we need as well. Because that is increasing value, we're also going to look at selling that. What does that look like for downtown movie night and the different things that you're talking about? We are still going to do downtown movie night. We are still going to do farmers market downtown Thursday. We still feel called to serve our community in that capacity. And we're coming up with some very creative ideas that I'm going to share with you in the future about how we're going to do that. And I'm telling you, buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be amazing. And listen, this is not all. There's more to come, as you're going to have several of these movies that we're going to help to use to walk you through this process. So what you need to be doing right now, number one, be praying for the transitions, be praying for the sale of our properties, be praying for the plans as architects and contractors are coming together to put together a plan for our future, and then be seeking the Lord about what your role is in making it happen. It's my job to come up with vision, but your giving and your generosity sets the pace of that. And so prepare and already start to ask the Lord, what do you have for me? What's my role in contributing to this project? And together, Agape, with God's provision and his leading, we're going to do something amazing again for this community that totally reflects what God does and what he can do. We pray every single day that we ask the Lord to grant us success in such a way that people that are lost have to sit up and take notice, and that those people would know and understand that what they see is only possible by God's hand and by God's help. Let's position ourselves for another miracle as we move forward in our future. Oh my goodness. So excited, so excited. And so listen, I know there's questions, and again, as we will look at moving forward in the fall, you'll be hearing some information about what we call a generosity initiative, where we'll look at how do we go about giving to make this happen. And I have more details for you about that, but we'll be looking at the fall for that. That's not even important at this point. We are just incredibly excited about this opportunity that the Lord has opened up for us. And I've been just absolutely nervous to the point couldn't eat and sleep, all that kind of stuff, just to share this with you. So I'm encouraged. I hope you are encouraged as well, hearing that we are not leaving. We are expanding. You're expanding. So I'm grateful, believing that God's got something for us with that. So I'll be talking with you some more about that. They've got praying to do about some of those directions and those kind of things as well. But we are really excited. It's just a miracle. Gabe, you all come. I'm good. You all can come on up. Just couldn't have done what God's done with you. So I got details to share with you. Please, again, you all know, if you have questions, don't hesitate to call, ask me, whatever you want to do. I'd love to talk with you about it. I love the fact we don't have anything to hide. And what I'm grateful for is we have a great board that has been considering this for months. And so for some of you that are new here, you may not know who our board directors are. That's important. They serve, but if you all know, we're not those people. We don't step out with our chest. Do you know who I am? It's like, do you know who Jesus is? And if you do, that's what's important. So there are no big I's and little U's in our culture and in our church. But I do want to thank our board. There's two of them that are not here. My pastor, Mike Sparrow, and Jeff Bauer, good friend of mine that now pastors Agape Church in California. Then our local board, those that are here in town. Obviously, Niece is on that board, is one of the founders of our church. Russell Delk also serves as a board member as well. Becky Hooper serves on that board as well. And Becky's not a guy, that's a man. So, that is a woman. So I want people to know that. Well, I'm sorry, Becky. Sorry. It's a mess up. But you probably deserve it right now, but because she messes with me. But Becky, and then someone's like, well, you have women on your board? Yeah, we believe that God calls women in leadership as well. And we've acknowledged that Becky has come up through, and so we're grateful for her as well. Kim Knox has been on our board and is our longest-standing board member besides Niece and myself. And I'm grateful for Kim. Kim has on several times had to nudge me and say, James, I think we need to change some things. We got to do this. And I'm grateful for Kim and grateful for her support. Love her with my whole heart and her family. So grateful for them as well. And make sure I didn't miss anybody. There's 8 of us. Steve Pugh. And this can't miss Steve Pugh. Steve is also there as well. And I want to encourage y'all as well. Steve is a good friend and awesome friend of mine. I know you've not seen Steve around. And would you all continue to pray for my friend and pray for him as our board member? And I don't want to go a whole lot of detail, but I love him. And he's dealing a lot with his mom and with himself and with all that. And Steve has served as a friend. And how many know, like, when people are in difficult times, like, we don't just push them out. We come around them. And so I know you've not seen them, and also you've all probably wondered about some of that. And all I would ask is that you'd allow me to pastor and let me walk through that as well. But would you all pray for Steve and say for grace and pray for their family as well? Obviously, Steve's brother Kelly's here and their mom, and they're both handling that as well. And so can you just hold them all up before you as you think about them as well? And grateful for their faithfulness here as well. So we have a great board. We don't fight. We don't bring guns to board meetings. We get along, and we made every decision. I'm grateful to say we made every decision in unity. It's been a unanimous decision every time, and so I'm grateful for that as well. So listen, today, obviously we're going to celebrate that. That's awesome, but we got Baptism Sunday. Again, timeline, we're going to share all of that down the road, and so it's a ways that we got some things we got to work on, and that's everything that I know, you know. And so I'm encouraging you, those that are set for baptism, if you guys want to go ahead and get ready for that and get changed up, I will do the same. How many of y'all excited about what God's doing, what God's opened up for us? And you know, we weren't trying to keep up with anybody, but I started thinking 2 locations in a city our size, like you know, there's a part you almost think like, who do you think you are? And I was thinking, well, if McDonald's can do it, and I don't know if they're having eternal impact, and if Popeyes can do it and they don't have eternal impact, if Burger King can do it and not have eternal impact, I figured Jesus can do some things. I figured he could do some amazing things, and so grateful for that. I can't even tell you how excited I am that when I think about it, that the Agape kids are gonna have a playground. Anybody? I'm just thrilled. I'm thrilled we're gonna have a kitchen and those kind of things that we can serve our community better. But I'm also thrilled that next generation leaders have to start thinking about how to use this great tool. And so I figured this, kind of like when we go to dinner, I always say this: if I got to pay, I'm not going to pray. Same things. Hey, if we got to come up with how we're going to do it, then we got to start letting the vision expand. And so several of you have roles that God's going to begin to speak to you. And listen, Walk into it. This is a team effort. It's a team effort, and together we're going to do something amazing for Jesus. Go ahead, bud, and I'll let you finish up today. Thank y'all for coming today. Listen, go ahead.
There's no mountain too high, there's no valley too low, there's no fear that I have, he doesn't already know.
That was an accident. Sorry.
There's no weapon too strong, there's nothing for my God that's impossible. There's no mountain too high, there's no valley too low, there's no fear that I have, he doesn't already know. There's no problem too big, there's no weapon too strong, there's nothing for my God that's impossible. That's impossible. That's impossible. So I won't be shaken, and I won't be moved, 'cause my God is faithful, and his promise is true. So I speak to the mountain, oh, it's hard to move, 'cause my God is bigger, better, stronger, greater. He's bigger, better, stronger. And my God is bigger, better, stronger, greater. He's bigger, better, stronger, greater. He's bigger, better, stronger, greater. He's bigger, better, stronger. And my God is bigger, better, stronger, and greater than you.
Awesome. Are you guys excited about what's to come for Agape Church? You guys pumped up about
Good
that?
morning, Agape Church. My
We
name
are
is Kimberly
definitely
White, and
on
I
high. If
serve
you guys
on
want
the
to stay standing, I'm going
We
to
are
be
so
as quick
glad
as possible. We do want to say that we have a second service that hasn't seen all that we have seen yet, so we want them to have the same experience you did. You know how you guys leave the movies, you don't want somebody telling you the spoiler. So if you talk to somebody outside and you start talking about it, do a secret handshake or ask them if they're at first service before you start going into everything that they saw. We just want them to have the same experience you did about hearing all the great things that are going on here at Agape. And I'm going to jump into announcements. First of all, to all of our visitors, we are so excited that you joined us. What a perfect Sunday to join us. We hope that you enjoyed what you saw here today. And we hope you're able to stick around for baptism and see how we do all those things. We just welcome you, and we ask that you fill out a connection card that you can find in the seat pocket in a chair in front of you. We just want to follow up and just make sure that you enjoyed your time with us. As far as our announcements, we have First Sunday Prayer next Sunday, May 1st at 6 p.m. Please join us for that. We clearly have a lot to pray about. Spiritual Gifts Workshop is going to be for Agape Kids. That's going to be May 7th from 10 to 2. We still want all the volunteers we can for that, and we are showing them all aspects of serving at a church. So no matter where you serve, if that's on your heart to come and volunteer, talk to Julie or Russell Delk and they can get you plugged in with that. We just want to show the kids what their spiritual gifts are and get them walking in that early. Together we can again be praying for that team that's coming up. And then of course we have baptism basically right now. So we're going to be excited about that. And if you have any prayer requests or anything like that, you can stick around and talk to our prayer team. If you need to give, there are so many different ways to give online or on your way out. We ask that you do that. And we just thank you guys for your faithfulness. We thank you for what you've done for us. Continue to lift up James and Nisi in prayer as our leaders. And we just see how important that is just with everything going on. And you guys have a blessed Sunday. We'll see you at baptism at the back lot.